will always have coffee every day. Oat milk or almond milk. Soya I was having for a while, but I got told by everybody whenever I ordered soya that I would get breasts because of estrogen, which I'm sure is fine, but I'm not really looking to do that right now in my life. Is this what your readers want? Hello, I'm Russell Tovey, and I'm here today to talk about my diet and how it affects the way I perform, the way I focus, and the way I train. I'm a creature of habit. I train very regularly. I try to train every day. I'd probably get told off for admitting that by nutritionists or my doctor. But I do like going to the gym. I use the gym as a place of focus to train my body and think. But my philosophy around my diet is I eat the same things at the same points every day, so I don't have to think about it. I've been told that I like a lot of beige food. Well, I do add in green foods and a lot of fruits, but predominantly my plate is beige, and that brings me joy. Beige joy. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so I absolutely avoid anything with a face. I don't eat any meat, I don't eat any fish. I also have severe allergies to walnuts and pecans. It's not anaphylactic shock, but I get something called an ocular migraine, which I started getting many years ago, and I did allergy testing and I cut out a lot of foods from my diet, and then I discovered when I reintroduced foods that walnuts and pecans were the trigger. It's not very nice, so I do avoid those as much as possible. And I say to people on jobs, because they say, have you got any allergies? And I say walnuts and pecans, and then everyone goes crazy and thinks it's like a full nut allergy, which it isn't, because I eat all the other nuts. I love a macadamia, I love a cashew, obsessed with almonds, but the walnuts and pecans, they look like little brains. So for me, I'm like, no, thanks. My little beige brain. Yeah, so I started taking creatine gummies. I take those before I train. Every morning I will take magnesium tablets. I recently did a blood test and I'm very low in B12, so I've started reintroducing those into my diet. I have lovely pale Irish skin, so I try and have vitamin D in tablet form, but then if I've gone on holiday or I've managed to get some sunshine, I will stop taking that. And I take protein shakes every day for sure. It will be a plant-based protein shake as much as possible. At one time I tried cricket protein, and you know, I'm actually saying that I don't eat anything with a face. Crickets do have faces, I guess, but they are also insects. It was disgusting, so I stopped taking that. For one time they had these cookies at my gym, which they said were protein cookies. Then they stopped selling them, and I said, why have you stopped selling them? And they said, because it wasn't really protein cookies, they were just sugar. I was like, cool. I've been eating those every day thinking I was doing something good for my body. I wasn't. So I have eggs every single day. I absolutely love eggs. Organic, obviously, if you can. 2 boiled eggs every morning. I've become completely obsessed with corn thins. Now, these are like rice cakes. Where in the UK, we have corn cakes. I've now got to a point where I have to have them with me wherever I travel. I love mushrooms. I will have them every day as much as I can. Cottage cheese and nuts. So I have a handful of cashew nuts every morning. That's my breakfast. I would then finish that off with a banana for sure. I love peanut butter. It's not walnut or pecan butter, it has to be peanut butter. Berries, blueberries, apples. What's become really good for me is to have things on hand, at home. Very much someone who grazes throughout the day. And I think it's great if you have something that's easy to grab and easy to ingest that isn't filled with, you know, additives and sugars. So at lunch, I have to have a carb every single day. I make sure that I have a big pasta dish a day, or I have a big brown rice dish every day with vegetables. Tofu, because I am vegetarian, tofu is something which I'm obsessed with, and I love cheese. I could never be a vegan. I've considered it, but because I love eggs and because I love cheese, that's off the cards. Cheese doesn't have a face. I know it comes from something with a face, but I'm able to separate that, compartmentalize that. But for me, a really simple pasta dish is vital actually throughout the day, so I make sure that I have that, and that gives me energy. I think what I did for a while when I trained very heavily is that I just didn't eat enough, because I was also thinking I want to lose fat, but I want to gain muscle. And if I reduce my calories, then I'm going to be in deficit, and that's going to be great. Actually, I looked tired and it drained everything out of me, and I really noticed that. I think it takes a while to adjust into adulthood and work out what your body's needs are. So dinner is interesting because I like to order in or eat out. I don't know, that changes. I'm not as strict in the evenings. They say that you should feast like a king in the morning, eat like a prince at lunch, and then feast like a pauper in the evening if you want that, you know, perfect balance. And then you fast overnight, and in the morning you're better. But I don't think that works if you're going to the gym all the time. I think that's different. I don't count calories, I don't count macros. I guess I look at the amount of grams of protein that are in protein shakes. I have a friend who definitely counts out his meal plans, and he has like a fist of this and that of that, and everything's, I can't do that. I'm not very mathematical, so for me that feels like numbers. I'd rather think existentially about what I'm eating. My favorite carb, macaroni cheese. Oof. Macaroni cheese I could eat all day long. I can go high-low. I mean, a highbrow mac and cheese, there's nothing better, I don't think. If it's gourmet prepared and there's love gone into that mac and passion gone into that cheese, I'm like, I will marry that chef. Heaven on a plate. My mum was a terrible cook growing up, and she used to put stuff on the table and we would say, "What's that, Mum?" And she'd say, "Just eat it." And we'd eat it. And then if we responded well to something, she would then make us that same meal every night for weeks. She was like, "That's it. You like that, and that's all you like, and you're gonna have that." So growing up, I never had any love for eating. It was just fuel. You ate it and you got on with the rest of your day, which I think is probably why I'm able to compartmentalize my diet now, because I'm like, you eat it, get it down you, and then get back on the computer or out in the street on your bike. The dish I would bring that I have to make, I mean, all I can think about is just an omelette, but that's not going to go very far. One omelette, showing up with one omelette, and there's like, oh, there's 20 of you. Oh, okay, well, we can break this up. I'm on a diet. I don't consider myself dieting, but I guess I have given myself parameters or boundaries to eat within, to graze within, I guess. It's always changing. You know, I'm sure most people watching this, you'll spend days where some days you'll look in the mirror and you go, wow, oh God, that looks good. And literally 24 hours later, you look in the mirror and you'll be like, what the hell's happened? What have you done differently? At the end of the day, it's about your mental health and about the way you feel about yourself and your esteem. You know, I think we can be the worst versions of ourselves to ourselves. You know, I've never talked to my friends the way I talk to myself. Eating well and looking after yourself are really the best gifts, really, that you can give yourself in this life. That's what I eat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've got something from it. I certainly have.